Word.
Alrighty. Welcome to the Content Complete podcast featuring myself, Matt, Mr. All the Experience, and the man, the myth, the legend, Super Fist Cake.
I am a Mythman legend.
Who, real quickly, he may be the man, the myth, the legend, but he's missing his beard, and I feel like that needs to be addressed.
Well, okay,
He even made a
so
channel trailer about it.
okay, well, basically, I kind of had this deal with myself where I'm like in progress of losing weight and whatnot, so I just kind of see what my face looks like after every 10 pounds I lose. So I just went down to 240 today. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to trim my beard, see what it looks like, and I hate it. Not the fact that like my face doesn't look okay or whatever. It's just like I miss my beard. I did it. I'm like, oh, my face is cold now. I miss my beard's sweet embrace. God.
Yeah.
But no, next time I'm
us
probably
no
not gonna do
builders,
that.
we have to deal with the cold face all the time.
I understand. You should
Right.
get those they make like Viking beards or something that you can wear on your
Oh, yeah.
face.
It's like a beard beanie.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Beard beanie.
But no, that's exactly what it is, too. He's
It's pretty much what it
absolutely
is,
right. It has like a
they're
Viking
awesome.
hat attaches to the beard. It's just it's awesome.
Nothing turns a lady on more than a beard beanie.
Yeah, nothing like a fake beard.
Oh, yeah.
So, you want to share with us what you've been playing? All the experience?
Absolutely. Let's see, what have I been doing this week? Oh, yeah, easy. I've been playing this game called The Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Shit. I
I
heard that was
started.
good.
Oh yeah. Started doing a playthrough of it on my channel, and it's one of those games where I knew that I really wanted to play it at some point. It just sounded like my kind of game, and something that I do when that's the case is no matter how popular, no matter how big the game is, I do everything in my power to not see any content on it. Like, don't watch anybody's videos, don't listen to any talk shows for a while, like anything like that, so that nothing gets ruined for me. And so the videos are, I had a lot of fun making them. It's literally just a playthrough, but and I'm not done with it yet, but all of my reactions are super genuine because it's my first time seeing anything. And it's like, I believe it's a little indie game, but so far it's been pretty long. I played it for about an hour and a half. And it's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful looking games I've ever seen in my life. And it's kind of like a story about storytelling. And it's like a, I don't know how else to put it. It's this amazing game. It was my favorite thing that I did this week was play that game.
Isn't that by the same guy who made Alan Wake or whatever, or am I misunderstanding that?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I need to double check that. That would make sense to me, but I'm not entirely sure.
So I thought like there was a whole big spiel like the person who made Alan Wake is making The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, but I couldn't remember exactly if that's true or not. But
That rings a bell with me too. So that could be true. I don't want to say anything and have people yell at me, but
Why did you get this wrong?
well, it kind of gives me the same vibe, you know, like it's just the way it goes. I forgot the character's last name. His name is Paul something, and the last video I uploaded, it's Paul Paul Walker. It's Paul P, something with a P, and I called him Paul Pulverson, and then I laughed to myself because I was like, what am I, like Paul Pulverizer? Like, what's going on?
It sounds like either like a wrestler or a porn star.
wrestler.
I can't remember.
Yeah, right? Can't figure it out. But no, it's got really good audio, beautiful map layout, and you don't like know what's happening all the time. Like, without giving away too much, if anyone's seen any of the videos on my channel, you're looking for a little boy named Ethan Carter, and
What? Spoilers.
spoilers, sorry guys.
Jesus.
I actually have a spoiler tag,
Oh, good.
and it's super
Make sure you put it up right now.
it's so bad. It's like a big giant red stop sign with like an exclamation point, and it says spoiler. It looks bad.
No, that's perfect. That's
But people
it's more like noticeable when it's worse or whatever.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know, it's just really cool. It's so you're looking for this kid, and apparently you learn that he was a creative kid. He would write short stories and stuff, and so you come across these clues, really grotesque, by the way. Found a couple of dead bodies, just like completely mangled, and you're like, okay, what's the setting of this game? Is it a horror game, or like is it a puzzle game? Like, what am I doing? And and you go through, and then all of a sudden, just I won't give it away, but just something starts happening, and it's all of a sudden you think you're in the Twilight Zone, and you're like, I don't know what's happening right now. Nothing here looks real, and then afterwards you learn that none of it was real. But it had something to do with his short stories. And so it's kind of like this really cool storybook fantasy. You're like living some of his short stories as you come across. You're seeing it you're seeing it through the eyes of Ethan Carter, which I think is an awesome way to do that.
That sounds very Alan Wake-ish, so I would be very, very surprised if they were not involved with that at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys play Alan Wake?
I did. I didn't play American Nightmare, but
I didn't play American Nightmare either, but I played Alan Wake and I thought that shit was awesome.
I thought it was great too. Yeah, it was a good game. It made me think. At times, it made me think it was kind of a horror game too, just because like you couldn't stay in the dark and all that stuff. But you're right. The way Alan Wake ended up playing out was it was like right up my alley. The way that the writing was, and like the plot twists, and you're like, oh, I am the guy in the book or whatever. It's pretty cool. So that was a big portion of it. I restarted playing Stranded Deep. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but a couple people wanted to see more Stranded Deep videos. So I started playing that game again, and they update stuff all the time. And so and it terrifies me. I've got this huge fear of the ocean, open water, and stuff. So I'm going across, and I see like just new stuff. I saw a lionfish, which isn't scary, but I was like, oh, cool, they put lionfish in here. And then I was swimming, and a manta ray came up to me, and I was like, whoa, look at this manta ray. This is super cool. And then swimming more around a reef, looking at manta rays, and they added a new type of shark in the game. Oh, and it was like a black tip reef shark, and they're like torpedoes in the water. So I don't know. I don't have a good track record with sharks in that game. So it caught me off guard, and now I'm just afraid, guys, that I'm gonna be playing one day, and I'm gonna be like diving down in the ocean towards one of these awesome shipwrecks, and they're gonna have like a kraken monster or like some deep sea like crazy monster. Yeah, exactly. You know, I would have a heart attack and die. I'll tell you right now.
If you fought Cthulhu.
Like, I might be one of the worst people to watch. Exactly. I can't even on a scale to 1 to even. I can't. But seriously, I might be one of the worst people to watch play that game. People like it, but for me, it's like, should I dive down into that water and go check out that ship and maybe survive a bit longer? No, I'm not going to do that. I'd rather just let myself starve. Like, it's scary under the water. I don't want to go down there. So in the latest episodes, I've been trying to get over that fear, and who knows, if I'm screaming and freaking out, maybe that's what people want to see. That's bastards.
Absolutely what people want to see. I played Amnesia, and that's where I got my most views as from me being a scared little grown man.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, man. YouTube people are sadistic. They're
pretty messed up.
Yeah, it's wild. It's pretty crazy. So. But other than that, yeah, just pretty much those two games for the most part. It's been like 5 or 6 days since I've uploaded an Apotheon video, but that's okay. People are really into the Vanishing of Ethan Carter right now, so I've been watching that. But I'm not done with Apotheon by any means. I just have to hop back into it.
Yeah.
Take care of it. But no, those games are really good. Other than that, like I was telling you guys just before we started recording, me and some of my collab partners, we started playing Heroes of the Storm, and that game is so much fun with friends. Even when you lose, it's entry level League of Legends basically, and
League of Legends is just entry level Dota.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just that's what that is exactly.
That's a risky joke.
Yeah, that was a very risky joke.
We're at 9 viewers. We are now down to 3, which by last week's episode, we'll actually jump up to like 23 now. So
I was going to say, yeah, judging by if history has any precedent, then we should just make really offensive jokes, and we're going to get all the people in here. I'd
like to do a quick shout out. Apparently, my dad actually signed up to watch Twitch. That's Colbus 82. So, hi, Dad. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Quick shout out to him. Thanks for joining us.
Hit the follow button.
Click it. Don't make him
hit that follow button.
Don't make it complicated. He's
gonna be like, no, I don't know what to do. That's okay.
What have you been playing, Matt?
Yeah, what have you been doing?
So I don't play a lot of games that's not going on the channel.
That's right.
So I've been playing Pokemon, and The Binding of Isaac. I'm still trying to get real Platinum God. So when we play games on the channel or whatever, we go through kind of like a thing. We're like, well, are these getting views? If they're not getting views, we kind of retire them, and so. So we were playing this week Project Zomboid, which is an early access game about surviving the zombie apocalypse or whatever.
Foreshadow.
And it's actually pretty good. It's a lot of fun. But we've been playing the same character since like episode 3 all the way to like 48.
Wow.
And that's like a pretty big thing. So we've been playing this character. Her name is Linda Blair, named after the actress who played in Exorcist, the head spinning around-y girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we're playing the first video we record. Spencer, he's playing. And there's just a zombie on the ground, and he tries to kill it. And out of all these 48 episodes, he just fails to kill this zombie. We get bit, and then the next 45 minutes is just us in a house dying, and I'm just berating him the whole time.
Wow.
I'm like, why did you do that? I don't even want to play this game anymore, ever.
After investing so much time in one character, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So she was a construction worker. She had a house. She had...
She had so much to live for.
She had so much
to kill a lion zombie, and she just dies. What is this?
It just got bit, and it's so slow. It's just like it draws out the zombie making process. It's just like you're like, oh, you got a fever, and then you're like, oh, your wound is infected, and we're like, well, clean the bandages, get the bandages. Where's the alcohol at? Let's get the bandages.
Save everybody.
And then like about 45 minutes later, she dies, passes away, and I was very upset. I was mad. I was a little salty.
Pouring the salt. You can't like revive them or like fix the infection at all.
No, there's no cure in it yet. I don't know if there's ever going to be a cure, but I thought that was kind of like weird. You know, you can put alcohol and rubbing alcohol and disinfect it and stuff like that, but it doesn't help. It just prolongs it, and then poor Linda Blair just died in agony. So I think we're going to retire that for a while.
Understandable.
And then that's pretty much it. We haven't been playing that much super fast. I'm like lame as fuck.
I'm so lame. I only play games all the time. Oh, jeez.
I only play them all the time. I only have a ridiculous upload schedule. It's no big deal. So
your upload schedule is massive, but you know.
So I apologize if you guys hear an angry dog. I don't know if my microphone's picking it up or not, but he is. Let's just have a dog interruption real quick. Hey, come over here. Look at him.
Doge interruption.
Just pet tax or whatever you call it. There we go. He has a little horse that my mother gave to him, and he's pissed off at it. I don't know what's happening.
He's like, fuck this fucking horse.
Yeah, he's like, stupid bitch.
Nay.
Yeah. Nay, motherfucker. Yeah, no, he was on my lap. I figured he'd be quiet if he was on my lap, and then he started whining, and I was like, great, now everyone's gonna hear him whine. Don't get it.
So what have you been playing, Superfist Cake?
I have been playing this week Jazz Punk and Star Wars Republic Commando, and then next week I'm going to start up the Witcher series. But Jazz Punk,
yes,
what? That's literally the entire game so far. I've only played the first 2 missions. It's incredibly hilarious. I've only uploaded the first one. The second one will be uploaded on Monday. But as far as I can tell, you play as an agent kind of person. Agent, sorry, not Asian. I mean, you might be Asian. You never see your face. But
you don't know. I don't
he plays
know.
an Asian type of person. He's really good at mathematics and StarCraft.
Yeah. Wow. You went there. Okay.
Hey, we're at 13 now. Wait, keep going. We got another one.
Do all the.
I wish I was good at StarCraft.
Yeah, I'll never. I had look, like a year ago, I had like a 3-day kick where all I did was come home from work, sit down, start watching like professional StarCraft gameplay and like shoutcasting, and just fell asleep to it. Like it sounds really awkward, and it was pretty awkward, but man, it was pretty cool. I was excited to come home and just sit there and watch, because I would know that I would never ever play that game, not anywhere near what they can do.
Yeah. But okay, sorry. Anyways, back to Asian Agent Jazzpunk. Basically, you play as an agent, you're assigned missions, and the only way to do missions is to take this pill called, like, Missionol. And it makes you go through, like, these weird trips that you basically... You somehow do your mission, which I still don't understand. Like, I don't understand any part of the game, other than it's really ridiculous. And I can't remember if Adult Swim or Comedy Central...
I think it's Adult Swim.
I can't remember if, like, they actually had part of the production, or they just, like, basically, announced it to people. But either way, it's a hilarious game. I recommend it. I think it's only like $15. So if you have some free time and you want to get some good laughs, then yeah.
So Adult Swim is the publisher.
Adult Swim is the publisher. Okay, that makes sense then. But yeah, so that's Jazzpunk. Star Wars Republic Commando. I don't know if anybody remembers that from way back.
I tried to play that because I got the bundle from Humble Bundle.
Yep.
And I was like, this is not the best.
This is not what I remember it like, but no, I haven't even uploaded that yet because I had recording errors during the second episode, so that's technical stuff. But I like it so far. It's just the first, like, I don't know if it's not the first person shooter for Star Wars, but it's one of the better ones I remember. And it's like kind of it's not over the top, but back then it wasn't over the top. Playing it now, it's kind of like, oh, this is a bit much. Like all the people, when they say their lines, you kind of can already guess what they're about to say. And like your three teammates, they have like these obvious things that they follow. Like there's one that has like basically blood painted on his armor, so he's the savage type, but ironically he uses a sniper rifle. He's all about the hunt and the kill or whatever. Then you have like the green guy who's kind of like the neutral one, and then you have the yellow guy who is all about explosives and having a good time and making laughs and stuff. I can't really, he says some stupid word about his bombs, like throwing a sticky or something. I don't know. It's
throwing a sticky.
Throwing a sticky. I think that's Halo. Never mind. Getting my games mixed up. But yeah, so I have a lot going on with my video game list, which I will be better at uploading now that I kind of have like a set schedule in my personal life, in my podcast and YouTube and working life and whatnot. So
yeah,
being
stay tuned
YouTube
for
famous
future
is hard.
Oh yeah, it's a rough time.
It's a full-time deal.
I'm not even famous. I'm just YouTube. I'm just a YouTube. And I'm having a hard time.
Yeah. I've got. The thing is, once you get to a certain amount, like I'm at a little over 50 or whatever, and I'm like, man, I have obligations now. People want to watch stuff. Like, I can't just like leave.
Yeah.
Not that I want to. I definitely don't want to. I want to keep doing it, but it makes you worry because it's like, man, what about when things start picking up for me? You know, I had a job interview just the other day, and I was like, I thought I did pretty good, but I mean, then I started thinking about, man, I have all this free time right now to do as much as I'm doing, but after I start working, who knows, man? I don't want to let them down.
Absolutely, yeah. But at some point, it'll even out, and plus, I'm sure everybody will understand as long as you talk to them about it. That's kind of the most important part, is communication amongst you and your fans. Or so I think, but
yeah. I try and be pretty clear with the fans and pretty transparent and stuff, and make a couple of vlogs and let them, like it was my birthday as well. I don't geez, what day was it? Wednesday, 2 days ago. I definitely I didn't do a whole lot for it, but yeah, I made a vlog, and it was just a birthday vlog. I didn't need to tell them it was my birthday, but I mean, they give their time to come and subscribe to my channel and keep watching my stuff and comment and all that. So I was like, you know what, we're friends now. That's pretty cool you guys do that. So you guys get to know that it's my birthday and that I had a blast not doing anything for me, but instead getting 2 videos up for you guys. So I don't know. I thought that was a nice thing to do. Not everyone has to do that.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, one of the things that like about YouTube, what I like about YouTubers is that I want to know more and more about their personal life, I guess.
Yeah.
So when I get into something, I get like really, really into it. So like I get into a band, I read everything, I watch every documentary that they have about them, and then like I listen just to them for like a month. And I kind of do that the same way with YouTubers, where I'm like, oh, I gotta watch Total Biscuit, and then I watch Total Biscuit. I watch every one of his, WTF is from like the beginning, and then I caught all the way back up to where he is now, and I'm like, I just want to know more about your life. Give me more.
Tell me more, please.
And I think that's why they keep their stuff private, because of people
Probably.
like me.
You would never have enough.
Tell me more.
No secrets.
No
Take it all the way
secret.
to- yeah, it's creepy, man.
Now you sound like the NSA. Ooh.
Ooh,
Ooh.
ooh. Thanks, Obama.
Oh, jeez.
I hate
Thanks,
that fucking
Obama.
joke.
I just love it that, like, from now, like, even, like, years later, when he's not a president or anything, people are still going to say that.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's like it's just a regular saying now. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen either way. Oh well,
It's like-
man, he doesn't care. He's a cool dude. He's
Yeah.
he's got a cool personality. I don't care what kind of president he is. He's done some funny stuff.
Obama is all right. Thanks, Obama. You're all
Oh, another shout out real quick. Del Target just popped in. Now the podcast can get started.
Okay, let's
Target.
restart. I mean, we're 20 minutes in, but
Let's
we can just
restart.
restart real quick. Okay.
Welcome to Content Complete number 2. We can restart. We've talked about a couple things. Blah blah blah. No, but
Yada,
literally
yada.
restart.
I didn't actually play that much this week, guys.
So I played games. Some of them didn't record.
Oh
Actually,
shit! Isn't that the worst?
Yeah, that is. But oh well. I'm just gonna replay the first 2 missions. It's not too hard. It takes like 10, 20 minutes. So
See, it's not when stuff doesn't work on my end. I'm like, I get obsessive about it, and I'm like, I gotta fix all. Like, why didn't this record? I need specific information as to why this not record, so it'll never happen again.
I gotta rewire
trust
my
me.
computer. Just ditch everything. Buy a
I'm
new
selling
computer.
everything.
This computer,
I'm telling you,
shit.
on that topic, when I was recording some Vanishing of Ethan Carter, I tried to keep the magic, and not let people know that I recorded. This is total spoiler. I'm going to ruin your magic right now. I record like a bunch of episodes all at once, obviously, and then
what?
when it comes to 20 minutes, or whatever, you're just like, okay, next time on whatever. It just makes it easier, especially with that game because I was so into it, I didn't want to stop. So I recorded 4 episodes, and I'm playing through. And I stopped, and I'm like, okay, I really stopped. And I was like, okay, I'll come back to that in another day or 2. And got back on, I think it was yesterday, to record some more. And it didn't save my progress, because that game doesn't have, it doesn't have like a manual save. It just kind of saves when you hit something.
That's
And
so
the thing
like
is-
nerve-wracking.
Oh yeah, that's the problem. So I spent, I don't even know if this is going to be a video. This is like off the record, behind the scenes, if anyone here wants to know. Like,
Behind the scenes of all the XP. Dun, dun.
oh no! So I made an episode that was like 40 minutes long. I recorded for like 40 minutes yesterday, and I think I only did like 10 minutes worth of something different than the previous episode. So I was like, well, because like I couldn't figure out where the next checkpoint was, because you have to solve the mystery, you have to solve whatever's happening. So I was playing for 40 minutes, and I was like, I can't quit because it's just going to take me back to episode 4. Like, I can't do this. So I was having
redo
such
it
a
all over.
problem. Yeah, and I don't know how to fix it other than solving the problem. So
Oh, real quick, I forgot to mention that I will be playing one more game for shits and giggles. I Am Bread. Which is thanks to Doll Target commented on my first video of it, because I completely forgot I played the game at all. And then she commented on it, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good game. I have I can't do gluten, but I like to play the game sometime." I'm like, "Okay, I will just play it for you," because I totally forgot about it, and it's infuriating most of the time. And people like to see angry or scared YouTubers, so stay tuned for that.
The games like I Am Bread and then Clop and Corp, I think, like, they're okay. I don't hate them because PewDiePie likes them. Like, I don't know, PewDiePie is PewDiePie, but they lack substance, right? They have like one kind of like joke, and then like that's the joke. Like they just like repeat like, look how crazy it is controlling this bread, and then like because I played Goat Simulator.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, this is the worst piece of game that I've had the mispleasure of playing to, and that's not fair for people who like it, right? Like that's kind of like a elitist, like, oh, I'm really hardcore, but I like those things. There's like those games are not my forte, and then I'm like, well, why do you guys like them? And then I'm like, because they like them, and you're just being a douchebag.
Yep.
Stop being a jerk.
It turns into a big self-hate thing, and then I just get depressed.
Oh no!
Behind the scenes of Neanderthal Gaming TV,
Bringing the real topics. Yeah. No, that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, aren't we here to talk about games or news or something like that?
I don't remember. I thought we were just talking about how we hate video games now, but that's okay.
Well, shall we move on to remakes, demakes, and reboots?
Absolutely.
So, a bunch of games have been coming out recently. I think a lot of the major games in 2014, in like the first half, I think, were either remakes or reboots. So you had like Tomb Raider, The Last of Us.
You got one game in,
Yeah.
and you immediately forgot every other game.
I think Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. That might have been came out in 13.
Yeah.
Oh, Sleeping Dogs, the definitive edition, which is really just like the PC version.
Yep. Wasn't
I forgot they did that.
wasn't Gat Out of Hell the wow, why can't I think of the game's name right? Saints Row. Wasn't Gat is that what Gat Out of Hell was?
It's technically expansion. It's basically
Yeah, I thought it was an expansion.
Saints Row 4. Yeah, it's like it's a standalone game, but it's essentially expansion for Saints Row 4.
Oh, okay.
Kinda
Maybe that's what that is. I swear I heard something somewhere about they essentially just did a remaster with that game too, and I was like, that game just came out. I feel like it came out last Tuesday. Like, what's happening?
Saints Row 3 or Saints Row 4 is basically a quote-unquote remaster of Saints Row 3 because you play in the same place, but it's just all like a digital interface thing.
Oh yeah, that's
but
right.
They just really apparently the people who made the game just really love that city so much that they just decided to throw in superpowers and call it a new game. Which, don't get me wrong, I love Saints Row 4, but it's just like, oh, why am I at the same place? Oh, okay, well that's fine, I guess. I'll just fly around and punch stuff really hard, I guess. But whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought that game. God, feels like forever ago now. I just said felt like it just came out, but I got it a while back, and I was going to play it with my brother. And when it was kind of popular, I was like, I'll make videos of that, but just didn't get into it. I made a hilarious character. I did not take it seriously at all, which is okay because that game doesn't want to be taken seriously anyway.
No.
But it was something else. My character, he looks like the Silver Surfer mixed with a woman. Mixed with like a woman. So
a female Silver Surfer. We're good there.
Well, it was like super jacked Silver Surfer with pink woman hair and like puckered lips, with the deepest voice you've ever heard me. It was Nolan North, the Nolan North voice, but I
nice.
Put the octave down to like the lowest. So he's like, "I'm the president of the United." I was like, "Whoa!" So. I thought that game was fun. I've never played any of the other ones, though. It was the first one I was going to play.
I played Saints Row 2, which was kind of more serious, but you can kind of tell it's taking like the goofy tone that it's famous for now. Then Saints Row 3 was ridiculous just for the fact that you're some criminal taking on an entire city. And then Saints Row 4 just basically did that, but with superpowers and fighting aliens and whatnot. So, excited to see Saints Row 5, which is probably fighting God or somebody, as far as I know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put it past him.
I've tried to play Saints Row 3 a few times, and it's not a series that I can get behind.
Yeah,
you hate fun games. We understand.
I know, right? I'm like, I'm so douchey. I'm like,
Jump on the
the
bandwagon
worst.
of all the silly games.
yeah, I just
Join the
don't.
bandwagon.
I don't get it. I don't get the. I don't get the joke.
Yeah,
That's it, though. The game is the joke.
yeah. Who knows?
I
mean-
know like a lot of people like it, and I'm like,
Mm.
I don't. Why do you like it? Why?
Oh, I just don't get it. I just don't know.
Understand. How
No.
do I game?
No, but you're right. As far as the topics of remakes and stuff go, it seems like there's a lot, and I don't know. Personally, I don't know if I really think it's a bad thing or a good thing. It's the same. I know we're talking about games here, but it should be said that it's the same thing as movies. It's like
Yeah.
there are like most movies that come out nowadays, you may not even know, but it's like a remake of a movie from the
Or a
70s.
sequel.
Yeah, or a sequel or something. That doesn't mean that I don't get excited for them because, again, just it's same thing with movies and games. If it's an older version, like if it's an older game or an older movie, you might not be as interested in watching it because nowadays they've got better technology and better CGI and like all this stuff that can make it more appealing to you. But I don't know. You know, it depends. Some of them don't really need to be. I know we had mentioned before the show, The Last of Us Remastered. Seriously, Last of Us, hands down for me, one of my favorite games ever. I don't care if it was a bandwagon. For me, the story was top
Oh
notch.
no, I love that game. I love
Yeah.
pretty much anything that Naughty Dog has put out since Jack and Dexter.
Oh yeah, and the story was just so well written. It was hard not to get choked up at points or like feel like near the end of the game, Joel's decision or all the decisions that were made in the game, you didn't feel like Naughty Dog made the decisions. You felt like Joel was a real person and Joel made the decisions. And so
I'm
now
right there with Joel. I'm like, fuck
exactly.
everything.
Yeah, exactly. I would be like, fuck that, man. This is how it is. And I thought that
real quick.
great.
Do the spoiler thing. I gotta save my daughter twice. Okay,
Yeah.
spoiler.
Fast forward a couple of seconds. No, but you can't. It's live. Sorry. So yeah, I mean that game came out at the very end of the PlayStation 3's lifespan.
Which was so odd.
So odd.
That was
But-
like, from Naughty Dog's standpoint, that was like probably a terrible decision.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
still
You would
fine.
think, right? But yeah, they did fine because they remastered it as soon as the PS4 came out. Like, and the thing is, it's one of those like, did it really need it? Because it really boosted and showed that like how powerful the PlayStation 3 could get. But that
was it.
Yeah, that was it. That's as far as it could go.
Look how powerful
That's
the
best looking-
PS3 can get. Now buy a PS4.
And look
Yep.
how powerful that can get. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, look
Yep.
at 35 frames a second, 900p.
Yeah, like I have it
9,000p.
right here. Got this Last of Us remastered right here, and I love it so much. And yeah, it brought it up to the new gen kind of graphics, and brought it up to 60 frames and all that stuff. It was beautiful. I'm not upset about it, especially because I own it. Like,
Yeah.
I
I can't be
did
upset
buy
now.
it
I've
twice.
invested in it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did buy it twice, but it doesn't really matter to me. There are some games where I could see like, don't do that.
Well,
Like-
what's worse is that when they remake a game and then the remake is worse than the original. So Fable, they remastered Fable, and that came out a broken, buggy piece of shit, and it took them like, I don't know, like 4 months to give them like in-game mouse support.
Yeah,
Like, that's ridiculous.
yeah.
Thanks, Peter.
Yeah, we had our beef with you, man.
Watch
Oh,
episode
get out of
1
our
for
lives.
details.
Yeah, yeah. Click episode 1 here. No, but no, but seriously, I think there have been some good ones. I know, like one of the newest ones, or not newest ones, but the most recent one was Homeworld or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's getting a
Yeah.
lot of praise.
Yeah, a lot of praise. People are really happy about it. Total Biscuit did a video on it. I sat and watched it because I had never played that game, so I have nothing I would say about it matters because I don't.
Yeah.
I haven't played
I
it.
must be
But-
living under a rock, but what is Homeworld? I have never even heard of it.
So I think it's pretty much one of the first, like space RTSs.
Mhm.
Oh, fucking fly. That did space RTSs really, really good.
Yeah.
So Total Biscuit was saying that you could even go back and play the original, and it would be good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's
And
not
that
like
the
completely
remaster
different from the
is-
original.
Took everything that was good about Homeworld 2 and added it to Homeworld 1, and all the graphics look really good and everything.
Yeah,
I've
it's-
never played it. Spencer's played it, and he said he liked it, so we might play it on the channel. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty neat. I would watch it if you guys end up doing that. That'd be really cool. But in that video that I watched of his, he showed a side by side of the beginning cinematic of Homeworld way back when, and then the remaster. And it has to be said that I think this one is pretty hands down. Like, yeah, everyone's happy that they did it.
Mhm.
And that actually gave me a topic for just a moment here. But and then you see like how much actual passion and work went into everything. They didn't just make the graphics look better. They remastered all of the audio. Like you said, they added stuff from 2 to 1 to make, you know, all the things that people liked about 2. And it's like, wow, you know, it's like, yeah, you're not making a brand new game, but you're essentially giving another game new life, which I think could be just as important. And I think that's really awesome. I think, you know, it's not like they did it in a weekend to get more money. It's not. There's no way, to me, does this one seem like a cash grab or anything. But now that we mentioned that, before I lose it, what do you guys think about the idea of? I'm going to get so much hate here in a second for what I'm about to say. Well, I have to say this. I've never played Final Fantasy VII, and
No, neither have I.
okay,
I
good.
have, but
Okay, well, good. Some people are going to be like, "What the hell?" Okay, look, just look, internet, look me right in the eyes right now. I grew up with 2 older brothers, which means they were always playing and not me. So I lost out on some of that, and now it's a little dated. I'm not saying the game's not good. I'm just saying that.
Well,
know.
what's shitty is that fucking Square Enix is like, we're gonna remake every single Final Fantasy except for 7, 8, and 9. We'll
Yep.
even remake 10 because fuck
Yeah.
your couch.
Yeah.
they did
That's so
10
true.
twice. They
Yep.
made 2 games out of 10, and they made like 13 million fucking games for the
13 is on
13.
his 14th expansion.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, well, no, seriously. So that makes me think, like, some of those later Final Fantasies, was it really necessary to do that? Like, I'm excited for 10 and 10-2 to come to the PlayStation 4 eventually, because then I'll get to experience, like, a proper Final Fantasy game. But, like, people, the internet has been crying forever about remaking 7, but think about it, like, one, would that really be a good thing? Like, would people really be happy about that? Because there's it's more
It's
than
been
just
too long.
yeah, it's been too long.
No.
All their
I think
hype.
people would be over the moon. I think people, that would be the fastest fucking pre-order your eyes have ever seen.
Yeah, I bet, you know.
And it's just because
I'm
of the
sure-
nostalgia. The game's
Yeah.
not that good.
I'm sure the
You know-
the pre-order sales will be off the charts, but once people actually play the game, it's kind of like Half-Life 3. If it gets released now,
That's true.
everybody
is
will
true.
buy it, but everybody will fucking hate it because they'll be like, "Oh, you've waited this long to do this shitty
Why
piece
doesn't
of
it
shit.
look like Final Fantasy 18? Because that's when
Yeah.
they'll release it.
Yep.
Why
yep.
doesn't it come in a diamond package with?
I need diamonds when I
velvet
play Final
screens?
Fantasy 7.
Why am I not rich?
They're just mad. They're
game was
just screaming
supposed
about
to-
something.
They're just mad. They're like, I didn't win the fucking lottery. No, but in all seriousness, you're right. I think it would be a good move to do it on their side, like on Enix's side, because money galore. But I don't think that's the right reason to remaster games. And I don't think that Final Fantasy VII has to be remastered in a way. Like, it'd be beautiful. Everyone's imagination can see it. When people look at like Skyrim, they think,
Well, it has a PC re-release that kind of updates the graphics a little bit, but it's
Yeah.
not like a
Play their
full
PC
remaster.
yeah, it's and essentially what people want out of like a remaster of 7 would be like make the game again.
Yeah,
But
I
like
want the
on
game
a
from the
whole
ground
new
up.
graphics engine.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem with that is no one will ever do that. First of all, I don't think Square Enix will ever do that. And if they do, they're going to change something along the way in the
They're
story.
going to change it.
and it's
Sephiroth's name is going to be like Deferoth, and people are going to
Yeah.
get pissed.
Yeah, see,
Heirs will live. Oh wait, throwing spoilers for a 10-year-old game or whatever. Sorry.
Cloud's name is going to be like Cumulus or some shit.
Yeah,
they're they're going to ruin everything. And I just don't think it'll ever happen for that. I think for 10 and stuff, like, it already looks good, so remastering it is easy
It's easier, yeah.
Yeah, it's much easier. So, yeah, I don't really know which ones
Well-
could be good and which ones would be bad. Obviously, Homeworld seemed like a positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun little fact of the day: Animal Crossing is actually technically a remake. The
Really?
first game was called Animal Forest, and it was released on the Nintendo 64 in Japan only. But then they made Animal Crossing for GameCube everywhere. So technically, that's a remake, and technically, it did pretty well considering it has like 5 million sequels now too.
Yeah, but I mean, like Japan is small. Not the people.
I mean, like, okay, but anyways, who cares about Japan? Shut up.
Yeah, shush. This is America. We loved that game because we didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
I have
Yeah,
never
like-
played an Animal Crossing.
oh my God, Matt, come on, bro. Like, it's
I
super.
hate fun games, Mark.
Yeah, you know what? Never mind. Matt would get in there and be like, "What the hell is this
What
shit?
the
What?"
fuck?
What is this?
I'm not gonna plant any trees in this bitch. I don't know if
Yeah.
you do that in that game. I don't know.
Yeah, you do. You plant trees. Oh, you want to know what? This is what Matt would be like. He's like, why am I working for this fucking raccoon when I could just plant a bag of money and grow a money tree? Because you can do that in that game.
Yeah.
So
Why'd
yeah,
I-
no.
Why'd I volunteer to get a loan for a house? Jesus, I should have thought about this ahead of time. Why didn't I contact an actual bank? God.
This
Why-
game
why
is
is
so
it-
unrealistic.
Why is my best friend a freaking parrot?
I hate birds.
That's what happened to me. That's a good point though. I had no idea that was a thing. It doesn't surprise me by any means that it was in Japan first.
Yeah.
I have a pretty close friend of mine who is like all about Japan. Like he's all about speaking the Japanese language, and he dated a few Asian women and stuff. And
Lucky.
and so. Lucky.
Man, I
Whoa.
want to date girls too sometime.
What are girls?
So how do you date?
But he gets he's got no problem with like waiting for a long time to get like a Japanese import of a game or something like.
I thought you were
something
gonna say a Japanese girl. I was like, what the fuck?
I ordered a housewife a year ago.
like yeah, mail order brides. She
He
still
has
hasn't
no
arrived
problem waiting for the right Japanese woman.
yet. Oh man. No, so but he would have games and stuff that like don't come out here in the West, and I thought that was the coolest thing. But I mean, he could also kind of roughly read and speak Japanese, so it's like, you know, I can't do that, so I'm never going to waste my time. So there's some games that you might catch wind of it here in the West, but you're never going to see it.
yeah.
Yeah. What's also odd is that, speaking of Kingdom Hearts, they came out with
Sure, let's talk about that.
Very smooth segue there.
they came out with 2 remakes, Kingdom Hearts
Yeah.
1.5 and then 2.5. And I think the original games hold up good.
Yeah.
Like the graphics in Kingdom Hearts 1 on the PS2 are really like they're not dated.
Yeah, well, it's and I think that has to do with the fact that it's like a stylized game, like the art
Yeah,
style.
it has its own
it's not like
Disney Final Fantasy mix.
yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
going for realistic necessarily. So like
Yeah.
I don't think those ones needed to be. However, I do think the benefit of having them remastered is
They
that
can
you
fit.
get those handheld ones.
Yeah, they.
I'm not going to go buy another handheld just
Dude,
to
I
play.
fucking tried to play those handheld ones, and I was they're
not fun.
like here's some new characters and
Yeah,
shit.
and
I'm like, where's
here's a-
Sora? I want to play as Sora.
Here's a deck of cards. Like, play with that. And I was like,
That
that's
was
weird.
a remake of a mobile game that released in Japanese in Japan.
Japanese.
Japanese?
Japanese.
Japanese for sure. No, but absolutely. I think the only benefit to that is that those people who didn't have. Do you guys want me to write a how-to guide? Yes, Del
How-to
Target,
girl, please.
how-to girl for those in the comments, please. That would be wonderful. Anyway, yeah. So I don't think they were necessary, but I do think for people who didn't want to.
Mess
Go
with the
out and-
50,000 handhelds.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
because they weren't even on all the same handheld. Like what the hell? So
Yeah.
like they made them into cutscenes and stuff, so you got the gist of what happened in those stories. And for people who are big lore buffs and really are like delved into that world and just love seeing the characters no matter what, like that's I think that was great. That was really fun when I picked that up with my brother. But you know, I don't really support those as much because, like you said, it's stylized and they don't. It doesn't look bad.
Yeah,
Like
they
I guess
still
the other
hold up.
benefit is that I guess the other benefit is that most people, I would think, maybe I'm sure they go through statistics. A lot of people have the newer consoles. Like a lot of people tons of people had PlayStation 3s, so they're like, let's bring it to PlayStation 3 because maybe people don't have their PS2 anymore.
Yeah.
That's likely. But definitely, if I had to choose between that and Homeworld, which I've never played, I would choose Homeworld. Probably just because, like, if I were to get a side by side comparison of what they look like then and what they're going to look like when they're remastered, I would probably still pick Homeworld because I've seen it now, and without even playing it, I thought there's a lot of work that went into that. That's really cool. I don't know how much work went into remastering the Kingdom Hearts ones. Not to shoot anyone down at Enix, but
Well,
I think
also they re-released Resident Evil 1 recently, which was also re-released on the GameCube back when the GameCube
It's like
was
a
a
triple
thing.
re-release, yeah.
And apparently, like, the Resident Evil 1 remake on GameCube is like the quintessential remake. It's where all other remakes are judged by. Are they as good as the Resident Evil 1 remake on GameCube?
Or
yeah,
not. If
And I-
not, you suck. If so, good job.
good job.
And we tried to play the original Resident Evil, and the controls, man. The controls.
Oh yeah, basically it's the what they call the quote unquote tank controls.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like you're just basically driving
Yeah.
a car, but it's a person, which doesn't make sense.
But I thought that was odd that they would. Why didn't they just re-release the GameCube version on PC? It seems like that would have been an easier port than
Yeah.
totally remaking. Well, I don't know if they remade it, but it got pretty high reviews and stuff like that, and people liked it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
remastered that and Resident Evil 4. And Resident Evil 4 I want to play sometime because I played the shit out of Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube way back when. And I do want to get the remastered one sometime because I watched the two best friends play that. I was like, okay, this is worth something. I could probably invest in this.
Yeah, I bought the Resident Evil 4 for PC, not the HD remake. About like 2 months before it got released, the remake. So that sucked. But then you can just download HD texture packs, and then it looks better than the HD remake.
There you go. Done.
That works.
Sold.
So
So, I mean, this is, I guess this kind of fits in here. I'll throw it in real quick. If you guys have looked into the modding communities for some of the Bethesda games, the Elder Scrolls games, who are making like Skywind and Mar Oblivion and stuff,
Oh yeah.
those I 100% support because it's a community of really talented people who just really, really love a game and just want to put it in the other engine just to see what it looks like. Like, like they're just like, like, how cool would it be to play Morrowind on Skyrim's engine? It's like very cool. Duh. Because what it would do,
question.
yeah. Well, what it would do for you is, look, when I was young, again, being the youngest of two older brothers, of three rather, youngest of three, I would watch them play a lot, and I got to play that one a lot. But that's where a lot of nostalgia hits me, is seeing that game, and I own it on my PC right now. And I go back to it because I love the music. You know, the music will never get dated, but the graphics do, and and the gameplay does too. This like roll of dice kind of smack something for 10 minutes and you may only hit it twice kind of gameplay. So much fun back in the day because when you're younger and you don't know what games will eventually look like, you have this imagination and stuff. So now when I see it now, I'm like, this isn't what I remember it looking like. When I was a kid, it looked like Skyrim. So now that I'm an adult and I know better, it'll be great to actually see what it looks like.
Yeah.
You know, what it appeared to me as when I was a kid. So those ones, I think those would fall under remakes as well, obviously like a huge remaster. But that's, for them, they're literally like almost rebuilding everything.
Yeah.
Like for the Skywind one, they're publicly asking for voice actors and help from moderators and stuff. It's super cool. I think those are cool. I don't know if you guys ever look at those videos or anything, but it's a blast.
So I have Skyrim and I played somebody made like an entirely new world for it, and I've been playing that a little bit, but that was like a month ago. So and that's pretty good. So I imagine I'll probably take a look at the Skywind and Morrow Oblivion
Yeah.
remake.
Yeah, I think those will be great.
The problem that I have with those mods is that they always show like a lot of really cool concepts, and then they'll show like, yeah, look at, you can go through like this, and you can ride a freaking giant tentacle thing, and then they're like, all right, this is alpha 0.000031. It'll be released,
Point two.
one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So someday it'll be out one day. Yeah. See, because Skywind has been. Well, I mean, let's see. Skyrim has been out for 3.5 or whatever years. And well, no, yeah, 3.5. And so, they've probably been working on the Skywind one for about the same time. I bet there was someone who immediately was like, "Let's just put it in that engine. Looks better than the one we were working on with Morrowind." And
Well, I heard
that's
somewhere
3
that
years now.
allegedly it's the same engine. That
Oh.
it's basically the same engine since they've been working on since Morrowind. That it's the same architecture. It's just
Yeah.
updated. It's kind of like Unreal.
Yeah, I would believe that. That would be pretty neat. Bethesda did make a lot of their own in-house. Like they basically built a couple of mini engines to go within the engine, like the precipitation engine for the way that the fog rolled over the mountains and the water flowed and the creeks and stuff. So
Inception.
Engineception, exactly. That's what I thought. I did so much research on Skyrim. Like when that game was coming out, I was
Dude, I
like,
was so
on top
hyped.
of- yeah, I was on top
Everybody
of
was.
everything, and I worked at GameStop around the time when it came out, and I only worked there for a little while, but I was the guy to go to if they're like, "Chris, these people need help finding a game." I'd be like, "Done. Look at this."
Skyrim.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Yeah, exactly. Well, people, I had to convince some people that were like, "I'm not really a fantasy person." I was like, "Do you think dragons are kind of dope? Even a little bit?"
Oh yeah.
They're like, "Kind of." I was like, and then I would go into my whole spiel, and really, it wasn't a spiel. It was just explaining what I heard everywhere from Todd Howard, from all the people at the PAX and everything, and they were like, "This is the coolest thing ever. Sold.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy this game."
When that fucking dragon picked up that giant,
Oh
I
yeah.
lost it. I was like, this
Yeah.
is the best.
Like, whoa.
Oh my fucking god, this is so next gen.
Yeah, so amazing.
This is the future of gaming. Wow.
And now everyone's waiting for Fallout 4.
Oh my gosh, I love the Fallout series.
Fallout.
Fallout.
Even I think even
Oh,
more
how
so.
come you
has
guys
a-
can be like, oh, Fallout? And
No,
you
I
guys are
love
like,
Fallout.
Oh,
It was a nice, like, oh, Fallout.
oh,
We're
now
not
you're
all
like,
like you,
oh,
Matt. We don't hate everything. Jeez.
Oh, Fallout. Oh, I was like,
No,
come
trust
on.
me, we would probably lose everybody who's in here, even the real close people to us, the supporters, if we said we hated Fallout.
Yeah, Fallout's so good.
Yeah, it's so good, so good. It's amazing.
70 plus hours on New Vegas by itself, so let's. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some work to be done on that. Bro, like really?
Bro.
Down the Hollow had a little mishap with a dragon his first time.
Oh, yeah. Dragon picked him up and killed him. That's classic dragons. They're assholes. They're
Classic
really-
dragons.
Okay. Thanks, dragon.
Thanks, guys. Dick.
Well, one last comment before we move on to the other subjects about remakes is that the Binding of Isaac Rebirth is actually a remake of the original Binding of Isaac,
It is, isn't
and it's labeled a demake because everything's in like 16-bit graphics. Well, just it's more like pixel art. I guess it's not really like specifically 8 or 16 bits, but it just improves upon everything. It's one of those remakes that are done correctly,
Yeah.
and I think it's mainly because of Edmund McMillan. He's the guy that makes
Yeah.
Super Meat Boy and shit.
Yeah.
His dedication to the project, because he worked on it like for years. Like the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, where it was announced like 2 years ago, and it was so hyped the whole way. Anytime he would release like a little bit of art, everybody would eat it up.
Oh, shit, it's coming.
I'm gonna be able to fire a brimstone homing. It's gonna be so great.
No way.
Shout out to Rebirth buddies out there in the world.
Yeah, here we go. That's another game I've never played. The Binding of Isaac.
Oh, you
So I've
gotta
only
play
played the
it.
first one a little bit.
Probably get in on it. I don't
It's
know.
so good. I'm thinking about putting together
lot of stuff
like a racing league soon.
Ooh.
Who can be the fastest?
Yeah, well, there's already one for the original Binding of Isaac, and there's a kind of like a thing in Rebirth called the Curse of Blindness that makes it so you can't see what item you're picking up. And when you race competitively, Isaac or whatever, you have to ban certain items that are just like super good or kind of break the game too easily.
Yeah.
So you can't race Rebirth until Edmund puts in a thing where we can get rid of that curse. But I followed the whole racing scene and everything like that. It's so good. But I guess we can transition.
To free-to-play games, which I'm all about because I am cheap. I used to be cheap, sorry. But basically, we're wondering what makes a really good free-to-play game where basically it's free to the people that play it, but the people who make it somehow still make money, which generally it's usually like you pay for like cosmetic DLCs or stuff that basically it doesn't make it pay to win, like buying like additional levels, Call of Duty, or buying additional weapons, Call of Duty, or additional power-ups and whatnot, Call of Duty. But I'm not so
sensing a
familiar
theme
with,
here.
there is a common theme. The only game like that I can think off the top of my head would be like Dota compared to League of Legends, whereas League of Legends, in order to kind of stay up with like the modern professional gaming, you have to buy all the new champs, you have to stay in the rotations, otherwise you're useless and garbage compared to everybody else. But
The thing about that is that League of Legends have been remaking the same 5 champions over and over again.
True,
Now, and that's
that
not
too.
shots fired at people who like League of Legends, you know, but it's true,
Oh, I was
man.
firing shots. I was firing so many shots. Sorry.
Like, how many times
war
can you
zone.
remake Caitlyn, and how many times can you remake, you know, freaking who's a good top Tryndamere? Like, those are still played, and those are the champions that came out near the beginning. You hardly
Yeah.
see any, at least in the last pro circuit that I saw, play
Yeah.
any of the brand new champions. It's
Yeah.
always the old champions. Stop
Gotta
making
stick with the
champions, League of
oldies.
Legends.
Gotta stick with the classics.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
So yeah, like for them, like to kind of compete or whatever, like or at least League of Legends makes it seem like in order for you to compete with everybody, you have to buy all their new champions and whatnot. Whereas Dota, Dan, is that you get all the champions, and the only stuff you can buy is like cosmetic stuff, which changes the characters and what they look like. And that's personally, I think that's just fine because as long as it doesn't affect the gameplay, then it doesn't really matter.
yeah.
So if you want to buy brand new shoes for your character, then fine, go right ahead.
Insert
I don't-
Dota name character here.
Yeah.
Insert Dota character that I totally know about. That one guy with the sword, you know.
I literally don't know anything about Dota ever, and I never will.
Yeah, I only know very very little of
Yeah, I know very,
that.
very little.
But whereas just the regular free to play games, I think my most favorite one that I only got halfway through was Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden.
That
I
is
hear-
super obscure.
Very obscure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
to basically to kind of let the followers know, the people who are watching, Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden is basically a Japanese RPG style game based on the world of Charles Barkley and like pro NBA players.
There you go.
And it's all
Yeah,
and,
okay.
like, that's
Okay.
really.
What the hell?
Oh no, you guys have never heard about this before?
Mm-mm.
No.
Oh wow, oh shit. Okay.
I thought you were
have to go-
speaking a different language when you said the title. I didn't even know
Oh,
what
no.
you said.
Sorry about that. Okay. Basically, and the story of Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, basketball is completely banned because it's banned for some certain reason. I can't remember right now. It's been forever since I played it. And you play as Charles Barkley and his son Hoops, I think, or something like that.
Oops.
Hoops, yeah, they're like ironically he's all about basketball too, and you just try to save the world from this mysterious fog-like substance, but it's really deep for a free game. Like it's an actual RPG game that's done well, has a good story, and it's just so in depth that you wouldn't think it's free, but it is, and it's amazing. I suggest that if anybody that likes RPG games, this is turn-based, so not everybody will probably like this nowadays. But if you enjoy that kind of game, Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, I will actually post a link to where you can download it here. But That's
Awesome.
that's my most favorite free to play games. I don't know what you guys have as the favorite free to play games or examples to live by, but Barkley and Shut Up and Jam Gaiden. Barkley, Shut Up and Jam Gaiden. Barkley, Shut Up and Jam Gaiden. Okay. Kind of like.
I'm sorry,
So-
what just happened?
I don't have,
I like Barkley, Shut Up and Jam Gaiden. In case you couldn't tell.
I can't really think of a good example of a free to play game that I liked. I can think of a lot that I dislike. Shocker. But
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I
negative
wasn't going to
Nancy
touch it for
here.
once,
What
but
the hell?
okay.
oh, I gotta permit you.
Oh, whoops,
Ha!
whoops,
You
I'm not
are
allowed.
Deleted.
So I think oh shit, man,
I'll
I
just wait
can't
30 seconds. It's fine.
I can't
Go
think
ahead.
of anything that are is that great.
Oh, geez.
Really?
I think Dota is a good example, and I think League of Legends, to a degree, is a good free to play. I think they pretty much coined the whole pay for vanity shit, like skins and stuff like that. But I can't really think of a lot that I've really enjoyed. Nosgoth, I like Nosgoth.
I have heard good
Oh,
things
yeah,
about that.
Nosgoth is fun. Yeah, that's one I've been having a good time with.
I don't know. You got anything, Christopher?
Yeah, I have a few actually, and I need to know how you guys feel about what counts and what doesn't. Because obviously anything that you can just jump into and play without having to pay any money is great. Like, that's technically free to play. It's obviously not like pay to play. Like, one of my favorite games that I've ever played was Guild Wars 2. I had so much fun with friends on that game, but it's not technically a free to play game. It's a buy to play. And so that doesn't really count. However, I also, and this could be a pretty unpopular opinion, I don't really know, I am absolutely in love with DC Universe Online. I was
that's
so
pretty
excited. I was so excited for it when it came out. It was everything that I wanted it to be, even though it didn't have a whole bunch of content necessarily at the end. I mean, that's the biggest thing with MMOs and all that. But it was done so well. I don't think I've seen, even like I've tried Champions Online or whatever those games were, other superhero games, and I thought that, these are good, but for some reason the appeal, the graphics, the stylized art, and all that stuff, customization of DC Universe Online was so great to me. And they used to be like every other MMO where you pay money to play it, and I did technically have to buy it. Nowadays you don't, so that's why I was wondering if it counts. It's free now. You can play it because I paid for it at one point in the past. They have a freemium model, so I'm technically a premium account or whatever. I'm not a subscriber account, but I'm one step above being free, so I get some extra stuff because they're like, you used to
okay.
support us. And yeah, Lizzie Rue in there. She liked that game DC Universe. Well, I said she. Could be he. I don't know. I don't care. I'm glad to see you
That
here, Lizzie
person
Rue.
liked that
Don't
game.
have gender ambiguous names.
So, come on, guys, please. I don't want you to yell at me.
I don't like to guess.
No, but
Well-
seriously, I really enjoyed that game, and I still go back to it from time to time and play it because it's just it has both. Thank you, Lizzie. It has both a nostalgic factor to me, but its gameplay it hasn't gotten old to me. I guess I can't play it like
Which one?
DC Universe Online.
Okay.
I can't sit and play it like I would play, WoW if I paid for WoW or something, or like get sucked into something else. But there are games that just end up going free to play, and I end up really enjoying those. Like you said, Matt, Nosgoth, I really enjoy Nosgoth. I would hate Nosgoth if I didn't play it with friends, but I do.
Yeah.
I play it with
Yeah.
friends, and it's a blast. So it's kind of tricky for me if there's a game that I can just get on and play by myself and not really have to worry too much about that stuff. It'd be a little bit harder for me to choose. A lot of these free-to-play games like, League of Legends and all that stuff is a little bit harder to say, like, this is the perfect game, because I judge it based on whether or not I need to have friends with me for it to be fun. Most of the time I do.
Yeah.
So I also bought DC Universe when it came out. and I thought it was god awful. But that's okay. That's coming from WoW. I played the shit out of WoW, and
okay.
and I didn't have anybody to play it with, so I think that was why. I'm not saying the game was bad. I think it was bad because I didn't have anybody to play it with, so it was a bad time for me. I also played, what was the other game you said? Christopher, you said 2. There's another one.
Nosgoth?
No, the other
Was
one.
it Nosgoth? League of Legends?
You said DC Universe and another one. What was it?
World of Warcraft? I'm trying to
no.
think of the names of games I mentioned.
Guild
Wars 2.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I also bought Guild Wars 2 when it came out. And I thought that was great. But I also didn't have anybody to play with.
Yeah.
So I got to like level like 20 and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to set this down.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because some of those games were really, really well made. I think they stand for themselves even after being free to play. Some games do really super well after going free to play because of some of the models that they have, which is a whole different conversation on whether or not those are good or not. But from a business perspective, a lot of them, like DC Universe, SOE is making so much more money on that game than they ever were going to with it being on a paid model.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to die.
Yeah,
well, it was on the prescription or the prescription.
Those prescription drugs were not the correct.
That's why I never had fun. Shit.
Yeah, so I just think that it depends on certain things. Like that game could have done so well, and it could have still technically, I believe, it still could have been on a subscription model, but things started to slip. And then they had that SOE breach or whatever, and everyone's accounts got like major hacked, which is
yeah.
I mean, they've had like a million since then. But that one thing, as someone who was there when the game first came out, I blame that entirely, just about entirely, like 95% of the reason a lot of people left was because they couldn't feel safe. That was a really, really like bad breach.
Yeah.
And the game had a couple of things. You know, there's always going to be those elitists who rush to the end. And in that game, you can hit level 30 in like 2 days in DC Universe. So you're always going to have people saying like, oh, there's not enough to do at the end. And then, bam, all my account information was hacked. Why would I come back? So, yeah, so they were pretty much, they had to if they wanted that game to keep going.
This kind of sounds like KOTOR when it first came out. It was like
Oh,
you had to
God.
pay for it. But now you have like that whole basically same thing that DC Universe has. If you paid for it before, you get the preferred status, or you can still pay for the subscription when it gives you more stuff. But
So I also bought SWTOR when it came out, and I was like, this
okay.
game is going to end. This is the WoW killer.
Yep,
This is it. All right, WoW,
You should have
pack your
known better
fucking
than to say
bags.
that.
You're getting out of here. It's SWTOR time. And I bought that, and I played, and I was so disappointed. I thought the individual storylines for the characters that you play were fantastic. I thought, yes, this is how, if you want to play the single player, you totally can, and stuff like that. But the fucking collect 10 bear asses over and over, the quests were so fucking bad. So bad. Oh, go kill these guys. And then I'm like, this is the same shit. You didn't do anything new.
Yeah.
And
Still
then
doing the same damn thing.
they went free to play, and then so I went back with a couple friends to play, and since I had bought the game originally, I got a couple more perks. But back then they had the worst free to play model of all time. Like they locked you out of like the sprint option later, so you couldn't move as fast as people who paid, and if you're trying to level together, that's like pretty essential.
Yeah.
Like it was terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, SWTOR, man, I'm kind of glad that game burned.
It burned pretty hard.
Yeah, I've got some close friends who they legitimately get offended if you talk about that game because they were so excited, they were so happy, and then it just didn't turn out to be what they wanted, and like they are emotionally crushed because of what happened to the game, and it's like,
I know
wow.
that
So
Gosh, oh yeah, I was upset. I had a giant freaking lightsaber boner for that game, and it totally just
Oh, oh.
I thought you were
just
just going to say
died.
boner, but you took it to the next step and said lightsaber boner. I was
Yeah.
close.
So,
but not-
Del Target, what was that about? How to girl? I don't think that's on the list. Talking about your
Oh, yeah,
lightsaber
no, the
boners.
whole- what is it?
What in the world?
Oh,
There's
well,
something about makeup tutorials and
where is it? Oh god, pink kittens.
RuneScape. Del Target is
RuneScape
correct.
Is a good example of a good
That's
free to play.
Yeah, that's true too. It's very successful.
I
To
mean,
be
I-
honest, that game has so much content, it blows anything else out of the water. There's a lot to do in RuneScape. And when I played it, all I used to do was chop some wood, make a campfire, and roast chicken. And I think that's all I ever did. And I loved it. I was small. I was a wee little boy. But I had a blast eating that roasted chicken off of the land. I felt like a mountain man.
Like a mountain man.
The closest thing I ever got to growing a beard.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, it's a low
All my
blow,
characters
man.
had beers in that game.
Yeah. Yeah. If a game allows me to put facial hair on, you guys should see my character in Fallout New Vegas. It is ridiculous.
So much.
He's
oh, yeah,
got.
no, I
he's
throw beards
got-
on everybody.
Yeah. It's
I try to make them
something
look
that's
as
never gonna happen.
rugged as possible. Pretty much the exact opposite of me.
Yep. Yep. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
No,
God.
but those are good. Yeah, so there are some really good free to play games out there that are always fun to keep an eye out for. And we didn't really specify which platforms, but there are some really good mobile ones too that are free that I just end up wasting a ton of time on. There was one a long time ago. I was watching one of my other favorite gaming podcasts, and someone mentioned 10 Million, the game called 10 Million, and it is so much fun. I don't really know how to explain it. It's like a match three game,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a little like old dungeon crawler RPG type of side-scrolling game. So you have a character who's going across a dungeon, and you have like weapon blocks, and you have key blocks and potion blocks and stuff, and you have to match them. And when you run into an enemy, you have to see what you can match to try and match your magic tokens or your weapon tokens, and that's how you would attack and do damage.
Yeah.
And then you move forward, and if there's a locked door, you have to match keys. Or if you were lucky enough, you might have opened a chest that had a key or found a key on a monster. And it's just like this really cool match 3 mixed with really old school RPG that I had a blast with. I don't think I ever hit 10 million. I think that was the point of the game. I think I got to like 7.5 or something, 7.5 million.
You're so close.
Yeah, that's a wonderful free-to-play game. Been around forever. I hope it's actually still available. You guys should check it out. It's pretty great. Love it.
What was it called?
10 million.
10 million.
10 million.
And I'm
Easy
pretty
enough.
sure it's the number 10 and then the word million, I think. It might actually be just the number. I don't remember how to search for it. It's been a while.
10?
Please.
There it is.
Siesta Joe. Fishcake, what's your opinion on getting super drunk and burning carpets?
Yeah, he might have. He might live in my old town where he might know some things or not. So, we may or might not, which we probably won't talk about it today. But
That's okay. We'll have another episode of getting to know us. And we'll have some nice lounge music. We'll have an image of
yeah.
a fire as the background.
We'll call it the
Yeah.
Content Complete Lounge, and then we'll just totally
Yeah.
rip off TB's other idea.
Yeah, let's do
Hey.
that.
I don't give a shit. All right.
That'd be great.
So down the hollow, if we have time at the end, I would totally be down for answering that question.
We can throw in a quick 15 minutes for that. I mean, this next
sure?
topic's not going to take too long. I think it's pretty
Yeah.
self-explanatory, and
Yeah, this week was not necessarily short on news or anything like that. It was just this is more of an opinion based. I mean, last week was too, but we had like some big news articles to talk
Yeah.
about. This was really like, what do you guys like playing?
yeah.
It's for the viewers to get to know us and me to get to know you guys too. So that's fine.
Everybody gets to know each other. Oh,
Yeah, like Lizzie Roos said, she thinks there's way too many zombie games out there. That's kind of that could actually slip into our next topic when we end up talking about it.
I will literally cut my fucking arm off if people stop making zombie survival games. I will give you my arm
to make them or not make them.
to not make them anymore.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was
that makes more
confused.
sense now.
I was like, wait a second.
You want more? Why would you want more?
I just want more. I just go to the Steam early access page and then I just pick a
them
million.
So bad, I'll give you my.
Matt,
arm.
are
I
you
was
talking
like,
about early access there?
Speaking of early access,
Speaking of
Would there
early
be
access.
a certain early access saturation you're talking about? I did it.
early access saturation,
I did it.
as
My,
is.
my dreams have come true. I can die happy now. All right.
I'm holding a dog. I can't type right now. Early
got it.
access saturation.
Got
That
it.
was the last thing I. Nope.
Make it viral, guys. All 14 of you. Early access saturation.
All right.
Aw,
tweet
snap.
it and then
Oh, I
tweet it to
tweeted it.
Total Biscuit.
Yeah.
Oh, do
tweet
it, please.
Right to him, please. And then tell him we want to have lunch with him. And
We're like a
Maybe he'll
taco
be our
with tea and
friend.
biscuits. Oh, but yeah, early access.
yeah, early
Stomping
access.
Land?
There we go. Come right out of the gate with the big elephant in the room. Stomping Land. You know what I thought was funny? Zach, I thought it was hilarious. I just checked Twitter a little while ago when
Oh.
this had started, and you retweeted their very first tweet that was like, "Go check out Stomping Land," like from the developers, and they're like #raw or #Jossum. And I looked
Yeah.
at the date; it was like May 5th of 2014. And
Yeah.
I chuckled to myself. It's like that's really funny. That's passive aggressive. Like, ha, you guys are losers.
So no, not only did I retweet them, but I even did a tweet at them. I'm like, so haven't heard from you guys in a while. What you all up to? We're talking about you guys tonight. You should come check us out. Which, oddly enough, I haven't got any response yet. Response yet.
The interesting thing about Stomping Land is that it's just the one
dead.
guy, the developer, who really fucked over a lot of people. So they have like an animator, and then they have a design guy, I think, who went and downvoted the fucking game on Steam, like the Steam reviews, and was like, yeah, so the guy, I haven't talked to him in like months, and I have to pay the animator out of pocket now because the guy's just disappeared.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so scummy, man.
Especially since it was on Kickstarter. It'd be different like if it was just early access, but it was on Kickstarter and early access, so a lot of people are losing money.
Yeah, I mean that's the tricky part with what's going on these days. Last week we talked a little bit about Kickstarter and the things with Peter Molyneux, and it just kind of expanded a little bit into what early access, or not early access, but what Kickstarter is and what it means, and whether or not you're actually paying for a product when it's just when it's a stretch goal. Does that count as a product legally? Like stuff
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, that's really disappointing. that would happen to Stomping Land. I remember watching a few YouTubers make some Stomping Land videos, and I thought it was hilarious. I was like, this looks like a fun game. It's a cool idea. It just seems like this whole bait and switch kind of cash grab, the scummy scumbag stuff is gonna. It's like it's running rampant right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
everybody's like seeing dollar signs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
They're
the-
just
like,
jumping
everybody's
on
like-
it.
They're
Early
like, you know what we
access
could make?
survival game. Let's just
It-
make that and get some quick money. Woohoo.
Mm-hmm. They're like, okay, so zombies have been done to death for survival games. What can we add that'll be different?
Oh no, dinosaurs? Absolutely. You got it.
You got it. Okay, what about what? Okay, well, they're not zombies, but they're skeletons. That's different.
Yep. Different.
Absolutely.
So I went and was reading the article "Surviving Early Access" on IndieDB.com, and I thought it was really good. It really wasn't that long of an article, but I really thought it was. I think I had linked it to you guys just in case. I think Zach, you had linked it to us earlier in the week when you were tossing out ideas for the show, but it was really good. It was just a nice one to read because it's super true. It talks about how there's a statistic that says like 25% of early access games actually end up getting a full release. And considering how many early access games there are on Steam, that is a ludicrous number. It's 75% of the games you're probably getting excited for or scrolling through are never going to get done.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you
Damn
guys
statistic.
know, but I'm like, I'm a little cynical when it comes to early access shit. And if you'd asked me like a week ago, I would have been like, fuck every early access game. I'm
Yeah.
not buying any early access games, and if you put your game in early access, you suck, right? Like but
Yeah, games.
I've kind of thought about it, and I'm like, that's a little hardcore.
Yeah.
So I think the main thing you have to do with early access is do research.
Absolutely.
Do
Yeah,
research
don't
if
just
you
buy willy-nilly.
Kickstart a game, research the company, right? So like the people who are remaking Planes Torment, or they're not remaking, but they're making a sequel. These people have made successful CRPGs before, right? So you can like trust them.
Yeah. Okay.
Who else? I can't really think of another early accessor who have made successful games.
Exactly. Yep.
Let me look at Steam Early Access real fast.
So no, like I've heard like the statistics is that basically I think it was in 2013 that there was like maybe 3 or 5 early access games coming out per month, and now like in 2015 or 2014 it's up to like 10. So that's pretty much what it is. People are catching on like, oh, early access is the way to go. Let's throw in a survival element. Early access, say we're going to update it sometimes, and boom.
Let's add some
just made $1 million.
crafting.
Add some, make some crafting, make some food. Throw in the zombies for a while, maybe not. Throw them out later. Who cares? Russ.
But yeah, I would like research is the number one best thing that you can do to combat shitty early access games. And I was totally on the bandwagon of voting every early access game completely off. But then you miss things like Darkest Dungeon, which is super good.
Darkest Dungeon is pretty good, yeah.
People really like Off-World Trading Company, and that's a game that I would be super into. I don't want to play it till it's a little bit more along the way, but people are really liking Besiege. Which is that you make a freaking catapult.
So some sort of ridiculous siege machine to destroy some buildings.
Yeah, I've seen somebody actually make like a kind of like a scorpion-like thing where like it has like spikes on the inside of it. It like reaches around, captures whatever you're trying to destroy, and then a flamethrower pops up and burns everything inside what you captured.
That's
Thus
pretty
destroying
cool.
the machine and everything you're destroying, which is kind of like it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, there have been some ridiculous. It's basically like a medieval Kerbal Space Program, is how I heard someone put it, and I was like, that's a really good way to put it. It essentially is.
It's absolutely like that.
Yeah, literally just the same thing. On a list of a couple other ones that I saw that were really good.
Skull Warrior says Escapist, which I've heard is pretty good too, but
I actually
didn't
played
realize
The
that was one.
Escapist, and I didn't like it that much, but Spencer liked it a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are some big YouTubers playing that, and there's like a huge market. I've never even seen the game. I don't know. Just the thumbnail didn't look interesting to me, so I've never clicked on it. But those ones look pretty good. Divinity: Original Sin, if you guys remembered, I remember when it came on early access, and I was like, that looks like a fun game. It looks like an awesome, like old school type of RPG with a little bit of a turn-based element you can play with a friend, and that game was fine, came out just fine, perfect.
Yep.
And another game, I didn't mention this about games that I've been playing this week, but I did tell you last week that I had played Insurgency. That was also an early access game. Insurgency, I think, is a wonderful game. I think that game is awesome. Every time I play it, like I know what to expect now. I've played quite a few hours of it, but every time I play it, I'm like, man, I love this game. Like just some of the cool little things that they do, the smoke trail coming out of your gun. Like even big games like Call of Duty and Battlefield don't necessarily do that the way that Insurgency does it. That cool thing I was telling you guys about, you don't see the hit markers. There's not a lot of background noise on the maps, so it's really quiet. And so you can essentially listen to your surroundings if you're not listening to your own music or whatever, and you can really get a lay of the land. Like that's a game that was in early access that, okay, people would probably look at it and be like, the graphics are pretty good, but not as good as these games, which I obviously have already because they're huge. And it's kind of like, people would probably say like, oh, well, it's like Counter-Strike, just a little better looking. And then you play it, and people are like, no, this game is like Counter-Strike and Battlefield 4 had like a baby, except, it works. Like
a functional baby.
I would say maybe even closer to like one of the Bad Company games, because those games were great, the Battlefield games, and Insurgency is super good. And I was happy to know that one. I didn't even realize that one was an early access game that just recently got out. But that's I got it for sale on G2A.com, and like for like $5. It's like the best $5 I've ever spent.
Nice.
But
I
no,
got with the bundle, and yeah, I like it so far. I've just suck at it.
yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, I'm not very good at it, but it's easy to, if you're kind of into the little more of like a hardcore kind of a shooter experience. It's really fun because it gets your blood pumping when you hear someone's footsteps, and you know that it only takes about one bullet to kill you, and you're like, I have to shoot before they shoot. It kind of makes me feel like Red Dead Redemption did when you would have the shootouts out in the middle of the street. You'd have to time everything and be like, doo, 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 doo. Yeah, super great game.
Yeah.
They should make a whole game just that.
Yeah, be great.
I'd
All
buy the
online,
shit
and then,
out of that.
Yeah, and then you could have like these like notorious kind of people on the internet where you're like, oh, you just ran into Matt from Neanderthal Gaming. Like that guy has like 800 like one duels. He hasn't lost a single duel, especially if it was like a permadeath game. Like,
I like where this is going.
Okay.
yeah,
I'm doing pretty good, so I think I will enjoy
until
this game.
I show up and just, you know, I become
Wreck
the new
you.
sheriff in town. Yeah. Well, another thing that came from the article I was reading, I took this excerpt. It's kind of huge now that I'm looking at it, so I'll try a little bit. But essentially what it was saying is that the idea of early access is really attractive because the idea that you can buy into something before it's even, you know, large. You know, everyone, this is like an age-old thing where people say like, oh, I listened to them before they were cool. And it's the same thing. You're like, oh, I was playing that game before it was popular.
Hipsterism.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
It's here. Let me put on my hipster glasses. It's gonna glare up real quick. But I've got my beanie on. I'm looking pretty hipsterish. It's all right. All right, hipster Chris
Need
is
some
here.
plaid.
I need
Oh,
some plaid.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't have any plaid right now. Here I go. Me and my. Oh man, I love coffee. I go to the coffee shop every day.
Hey, shut up. Coffee's great.
Coffee is
It
great.
doesn't matter that you like coffee. It matters.
I need
you
like a mocha soy
Starbucks
latte at like 146 degrees even. If it's not out yet, I don't want it.
I like my coffee really 166 degrees.
160. Whoa, okay. That's
Not
too
under,
hipster
not
for me.
over.
Anyway, so they're talking about how the idea of buying into it before it becomes a big popular thing is really cool. Everyone wants that. And then having the idea when they say, help us shape our game. Now, me, I get early access games and I play them and then I have gripes about them, but I am not a person to go to the forums and be like, you should fix this. Like, ever. If they have like a bug report that pops up in the game, I'll fill it out and send it, but I'll never, I don't do that. So maybe
I
I'm a
don't even do
scumbag.
that.
I don't know.
I'm such a
Yeah,
fucking
like-
scumbag.
Yeah, like, yeah, maybe we're just all scumbags, but the problem with it is that,
Probably.
like, the idea of that being there early and having a hand in shaping it like trumps any of the reservations someone might have about the quality or you know, in this case the lack thereof of the game that you're actually purchasing. So this person who wrote the article said that, you know, they're in the opinion that Valve knows that, and at the very least the developers of the early access games definitely do. And so, like, in recent months, if you go to like almost any early access game, there's a couple out there that are, you know, really doing well. They'll say the language has become straight up like, you're buying a broken game if you buy this game. Like,
Yeah.
the reviews aren't the reviews aren't like, this is an early access title, so this is an early access review. It's, don't buy this game because it's broken. Like, I don't
That's
care.
all
if
it
it's an early
fucking
access.
says.
Yeah, it's all it says. And so, and then they say, you know, and yet, dire warnings aside, all of these early access games still manage to be the top sellers over and over and over and over. It's like it's reverse. My favorite line is that it says it's reverse psychology at its finest. It is. Like,
It is,
that's
yeah.
like exactly what it is. It's someone saying like, this game is broken, and they're like, I know
I
you're
like
telling me
broken
not to
games.
buy it, but I kind of want to see it myself, so I'm gonna
Well,
buy it.
it's
And that's the problem.
your rash judgment, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're like, I like this and I can have it now. We're pretty much the now generation.
Yep.
We want
Yep.
everything now. We want it instantly, and we want instant gratification. And then, you know what? 15 minutes later, fuck everything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. Yeah,
Damn
I don't know.
kids.
It's pretty crazy. I don't know. I figure we've got some people here. I don't know. Maybe we asked them a question. Like, you guys, I'm sure people in here have bought an early access game or two. And aside from asking my co-hosts, what games have you guys purchased out there that that have completely disappointed you? You wish you never purchased it, or on the contrary, that you just absolutely love and you have a really good feeling about it. And there's got to be a couple of you guys who've purchased an early access game. You almost can't even buy a game on Steam right now that isn't early access.
Pretty much, yeah.
Figured I'd toss a question out to them, and while they answer, I mean, if you guys had anything else to say.
Well, I
Down the
pose
Hollow had a question.
a question to you guys. Or do you have a question, Zach?
No, I thought Down the Hollow had a question earlier, or somebody had a question earlier.
Oh, he did. Down the Hollow had a question about. Can you reword that question, Hollow?
Our first experience on YouTube.
Oh yeah, tell me about your first experience on YouTube. Like when you guys started out, what was that like? I will go second.
You'll go second.
I have the longest story, so
You wanna go
it's
last?
totally up to you guys.
You go first. He can go second. I'll go third, and we'll answer. Or we'll talk about some of these early access. Okay, go.
So back in 2011, which is when we made the account and started and everything like that, it was dead, right? Like gaming content on YouTube was barely going back then, and honestly, it wasn't popular. Well, I put my hipster glasses on. Like we were doing it like before the major players, like even before Total Biscuit started doing What the Fuck Is, he was doing WoW stuff. So we did that, and none of that really panned out. Like, and no one commented, and no one did anything. So then we went to streaming, and streaming worked out pretty well. Nothing but positivity, nothing but niceness. We got a couple haters because we had girls on the stream, and a bunch of fucking, neckbeards
Really?
are like, "Oh, you're a vagina. You have one."
Oh yeah.
So I
You're
banned
like,
the
cool.
shit out of them. And now this time, nothing but positivity. Like even on some of the more kind of controversial things, like we did a top 5 of roguelites, and the whole like meaning of a roguelite is totally like up in the air about what it means to different people. And on some of the other videos, I go on tirades about anime and stuff like that against popular opinion, and nothing but there hasn't been any problems. I've had nothing but a fun time. That's my longer story.
That's really that's the entire thing.
Yeah, well, long. So, yeah, I suppose.
Oh, thanks, Game of Thrones spoilers for the follow.
Oh yeah, awesome. Game of
Thank
Thrones
you,
spoilers. Get out of here! No, don't spoil it. I never finished it. So,
never even
Ban the
started.
shit out of you.
I need to finish the 4th season. Shush. Shut up. No, that's awesome. Yeah, and he also answered the question, said he bought Darkest Dungeon on early access, but he normally doesn't buy them just because it's too risky. And I said, we need more people like that, me included. I buy early access games because I'm like, this sounds dope. But again, I'm also not one to hang around too much. Like even if the game is perfect, like I play tons of games. That's why like starting my YouTube channel is really tricky, and I'm trying to sell my personality and hoping people like who I am as a person more than exactly what games I'm playing, because I could do a playthrough of a game and love it, but anything else that comes out or it's new, I'll be like, I'm gonna check that game out because it sounds dope. It's hard for me to keep my attention on one thing for so long, and so yeah, I mean, good on you, game, for being able to hang out for a second and be like, I'm gonna wait until that looks good. But as far as my story, I've watched YouTube for a long time. It seems like 4 years now or something. 4 or 5 maybe. We are in 2015. Anyway, when you mentioned Total Biscuit doing his WoW stuff, it's been like that long since I started watching, because I would watch his WoW stuff. I'd be like, wow. And so when you said that, I was like, oh my goodness, like that was a long time ago. Even and for a while he'd do like the Mailbox Mondays thing. Totally gone. Haven't seen that in forever.
Yeah.
So I've watched it forever. Began to learn some of the familiar names, some of the bigger people, and I've followed these people for like 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it is, and I've watched them go from I'm just doing this for fun to this is now my job, and you guys are this is the greatest thing. Like that's like if you tell someone that you make money for making videos on YouTube, especially way back then, they were like, yeah, okay. But I would watch them, and I started to grow with this channel, and I'd be like, that's really cool, man. I love seeing what they do. And about a year and a half or two ago, I was like, I think that'd be really cool. Not easy to do, but I feel like I've got the personality for it, and I'm a personal kind of guy. Like I'm pretty transparent with people. I feel like I'm a likable dude. So I thought, okay, I'm going to talk to my brother about it, and maybe he'll want to make it with me. And so we kind of talked about it, and obviously one of the first things that comes up is, okay, well, we know we're going to play games. That's all we need to know for now. What's the name of the channel going to be? And we talked about that in last week's episode because Liftinger asked us about how we named our channels, which was cool. But yeah, I made the channel, and I actually started it. The very first video I made was a Goat Simulator video because it had like just come out. And I was like, that's a good idea to start with. People be searching for that.
You are 100% right.
Yep. And I was like, cool. I'm going to have, like, I know what I'm going to do. I kind of planned it ahead, but I didn't really have a lot of experience. And so it was really kind of scary. And if you watch my Goat Simulator video now, it's really embarrassing. it's
they
like,
always are.
You look back at your first video and you're like, I'm glad my face wasn't on the camera because I was probably awkward as hell. Like, it's just, I had a buddy with me, and he wasn't sitting close enough to my microphone, and we didn't even have a proper microphone at that time. It was like, oh my goodness. So it was a little scary. It was like, it was fun. I did it because I wanted to, but I just think that I really got, oh, thank you, Liftinger. Thinks I'm a likable guy. But I do think that a lot of my first experience was it was excitement because I had seen people like Skull Warrior here says that people like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye kind of helped start his own channel. I watched Mark from being some new dude to his 6 million that he's at now, and it's like and he's got the best community out of anyone on the internet ever. I swear. You can go to his comments and feel like you're in a statement. It's a bold statement, and I stand by it. You can go in there and you can be like, look, I am like, you can. This is going to be an example. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but you could just be like, I am like some crazy disease-ridden homosexual, blah, like all this stuff that, no, I'm just saying, you could walk in. Some people aren't comfortable with saying personal things. Someone could walk in there and be like, I'm homosexual. I like I like incest, and like everyone there would just be, these things that some parts of society would just you would never tell anyone because you'd be like, I'm gonna be shot down, but you go there and it's like you're with family, like the most comfortable setting anywhere. Everyone feels comfortable talking, and I think that's saying a lot. And I think that when I first started thinking about it, I was like, that's what I'd like to do. I don't want to do it just because I don't want to do it, go into it thinking I'm going to have a career, because chances are I might not. Like more often than not, a lot of people try and it doesn't go anywhere. But I want to do it because it's fun. And I enjoyed. It's kind of like you're making them for yourself, and if you get followers along the way, they're important. And that's what I try and do is keep in touch with my followers. Like Doll Target's here for the second time, and that means the world to me that she's here. I've gone to a couple of your guys' videos, and she's commented on your videos. That's super cool.
Good.
Yeah, thank you very much, Doll Target. It's people like that show up and comment, even just saying like, "This was great."
Most valuable follower of the day.
Yeah.
Doll Target.
I mean, we love all of you for being here. But I just decided to say that because, that's Doll Target's a face that I've seen around the channel consistently. And it makes me feel like, oh, I kind of have a fan now. Like, this is, like, it's cool and it's worth doing.
Gaining power.
I'm gaining power. So to answer,
have an army.
Yeah, I guess, obviously that was really long, hollow, but the short answer is that it was scary. The first experience of putting a video up, like even my channel trailer that all my unsubscribed people see, where it's just me talking about my vision for the channel, that was terrifying. I count that as the real beginning to my channel. That was terrifying because I'm putting my face on the internet and just like talking from the heart. That wasn't like me putting on a face so that people would follow. That's what I want. That's how I see it, and that's a scary thing to do.
To put yourself out there,
Yeah, to really put your passion out there and just hope people don't come back and make fun of you.
All right, so I guess it's my turn. My story's pretty short because it's similar to School Warrior. I went to college for radio and television, had to leave after 2 years. So I had like some minor like editing, filming, and whatnot experience. And I just got bored one day, started watching YouTube, and I was like, video games. And the first thing that pops up to me is Markiplier. So I check him out for a while. I follow him. I follow everything he did. And then one day it kind of occurred to me, I just thought, I can do this. I mean, it's not going to be like I'm just going to instantaneously get a million viewers and whatnot, but I can easily play video games, record it, and if people like what they see, then they like it. If they don't like it, then they don't have to watch it. That's just how it goes. So I thought, you know what? I want to give it a shot. This will be my hobby. I don't really have much of hobbies. I just work and sleep, and I do this. And now I work on podcasts too, which is an interesting thing by itself. But and I just admired like how he can help out the community by like raising money and whatnot, just from simply playing video games and talking about them and just being a goofy, generous guy all the time. It's just I thought to myself, if he can help people out doing that, why can't I at least try to help people out doing something similar? I can never stream right now because my computer shit and my internet shit, but in the future, I could try to do that. If there gets to a point where I can do it full time, then cool. If not, then I'll just live life like a normal person, doing work jobs and playing video games and recording them. But
I would say, yeah, at the end of the day, we're always going to be playing video games. Just whether or not you share it with people.
Exactly, but that's my story pretty much.
So I find it interesting that you guys are saying pretty much what everybody else is saying. I'm not trying to slight you or anything like that. That you're doing it for fun and stuff like that. And you know, that's never been a thing for me, I guess. I do it because I like to do it, number one. And number two, I like the possibility that, you know, this could be a full-time gig.
Right. Yeah, I like that too.
And I see it like a lot on our Let's Play. They're like, yeah, don't go into this if you're expecting money. I think that's not a good mind frame to have because you have the opportunity to gain money. So why would you not think about that and put it into your plans, right? Not like put it into your plans like I'm going to be financially stable from this, but to at least try to achieve that, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. That's a really good point because, yeah, I was watching... well, Total Biscuit was saying, like, on their last podcast or whatever, like, you know, they bring it up every once in a blue moon. Like, you know, people ask us how we get into this, and he goes, to be honest, if you asked any one of us, we would all say different things because they all got their success from some random chance that just popped out of nowhere. And it's true. If you know all their stories, it's insane. Like, nobody is the same. But you're right. I think, like, right now, like I told you guys, we've talked off air and stuff. I just have a lot of free time right now. I won't always have a lot of free time, but I do this because, like you said, I enjoy it. It's fun to me. I'm meeting new people. I met you two guys. I met the three guys that I do collaborative work with, and I consider them good friends now. We talk all the time. They're just good guys. It's created some more confidence in me. I've always been a fairly confident person, but you know, everyone's their own worst critic or whatever. But having people come back and say, like, this was cool, or like, that was really funny, like, you know, this is cool. I think that you're right about needing to go into it thinking that I could make money on this, but to do that, you got to have certain things. Like, quality needs to be good. People need to know that when you're coming there, they're getting quality stuff, and that's something that I always focus on. And they may not be the best quality, but damn Skippy, I'm in it some money right now because I bought some peripherals that I need to be able to even just be on this podcast. If I didn't have the things that I have right now, you guys wouldn't have taken me. Like, it's the audio quality and all of that. So you're right. Yeah, do it for fun, but don't waste your time either. Like, you know what I mean?
I see a lot of people use that kind of like as a shield or an excuse to put out subpar content. They're like, well, I'm just doing it for fun. It doesn't matter. And that's fine. I think that's fine if that's what you're doing. But don't give other people that same advice who are going into it for different reasons. Because it's not going to apply to them. I think, like I said, I think I do this because I like it. Like, I don't kind of like it. I like it because I do it. But the thought of turning it into a career or making money or gaining influence or trying to build a community to spread, you know, I don't know, niceness or
generosity
or something like that. That's why I like it. That's why I keep doing it.
Yeah. Flood the world with love, man. Love, man. Love. No, but this is the other thing. Like Liftinger said, you need resources to have the influence, and you know, if you're doing this and people like you and people are sticking around, we're all growing our own communities to our channels, and it seems like this is something that I think is really exciting and a good sign. And you never know. Some people might, you know, life is different for everyone. Some people might have to drop out for different reasons, but like you and Fistcake and my 3 guys that I do collaborative work with, like all of us, all 6 of us really have the same kind of mindset. And all the time I think about, well, this is great because there's no longer is it just me who wants to do something like this or who wants to help kind of make something like this. There's 6 of us now. And all 6 of us make some really cool content. Like, this is where it starts. This is how anyone who does have a success story talks about collaborative work and doing things, and basically starting almost like doing YouTube is like a business. Also, Gus, don't chew on that reflector. Kenny will kill you. He can see you right now. Sorry, but I do think that I do think that it's exciting, and I think that if we keep building relationships like this and doing this podcast, like you said, because it's fun, because we're just buddies talking about things that we like talking about, and people come to watch us, that's super cool. And I think that we need to like nurture that amongst ourselves, and maybe when we start having guests on, have some of those guys on, so you guys all mingle and get to know each other, and the opportunity to build something and get those resources would be that much more likely because you have 6 people now, and when we're cross promoting each other, you know, you guys, this is great for us because I'm cross promoting you guys to my people and telling them, really, like, I talk to them on a show, we just kind of dick around for an hour and a half, but really go check out what they do because they put their hearts into it, and I think that's what more could you ask for? Someone's putting their passion into something that they really want to do. Go check them out. It takes like 5 minutes, and I think as long as everyone's doing that, man, we could. It's much more likely. That's something that
5 minutes a day will feed a hungry YouTuber somewhere out there in the world. Please watch now.
Please, oh my goodness.
Please click on their ads.
Just of an angel. And that's why I don't sing.
In the arms of...
So Down the Hollow, that's an interesting comment that guy made. I can see how that you could see that as like, I would be speechless too. But I can't really, like, it's hard to word this without without being like mean about it. But I would say take it for what it is. All right, at the end of the day, does it actually apply to you though? Like, if he says you're mimicking someone else's personality, that's just that guy's opinion. Like, if you think you're not, then fuck that guy. Is basically what I have to say.
No, really. That's
very true. It's just like how you worded it.
That's a good way to put it.
As long as it's not constructive criticism, which the guy might have thought he was doing it, then don't take it to heart, because this is the start of many bad YouTube
You gotta start with a thick skin, basically.
I'm fortunate enough that nobody's said shit to me on my podcast or my YouTube yet. People have just been really nice, but
Sorry, keep going. I'm just laughing now because of this comment I'll tell you guys about.
No, go ahead. I
okay. I'm just saying. I didn't mean to interrupt you like that, but everyone's gonna get negative comments. And this is also why I think the way I look at it, meeting you guys and meeting them, and Down the Hollow is one of the guys I do my stuff with. I love his videos. I think he's really funny. Every time I watch him, I laugh. But Matt is absolutely right. You're gonna have people that don't like what you do all the time. That's why you need to be doing this.
No matter what you do, they will not like you.
Yeah, you could go to the latest Markiplier video. There's like 200 people that disliked it. Now, compared to the million people that liked it, yeah, you're going to find that. And the thing is, I think it's really, really sad that people like Total Biscuit have chosen to shut their comment section off because it's nothing but vitriolic hate. It's the most depressing thing. And the thing is, some people just turn them off or just don't even read them because there's no point. Like you need to do this because you like doing it, and you need to always remember that. And if you're not having fun anymore and you don't enjoy doing it, you might not want to do it anymore. Because it first and foremost, you have to do it for you, and people will follow. If people can see your passion and your love for what you're doing come through in your work, people are going to appreciate that and they're going to follow you. And collaborating with people, talking to Matt, Zach, and myself, or when you and I are in the call with the other guys, Hollow, I'm speaking directly to you. It's good to have friends like that to just bounce off of. This is a really good place. I'm glad he asked that question, to be honest, here, because there's people in the comment section who also do YouTube stuff and are also experiencing the same thing. It's like a support group. It's like, look, if you kind of agree with something that they say, because sometimes you'll get constructive criticism, and sometimes you'll get someone who's like, this was a gay video, and you're like, wow,
what does that even mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? The video,
happy video? I don't understand.
The comment I was going to tell you guys about was immediately taken back, and it was from someone who has since then commented very positive comments on my videos, but the reason I was laughing is because I don't know if it's negative or positive. I got a comment that was essentially like, hey man, I liked this, but your intro was crap, but not yours. Just intros in general are always crap. You're not that funny, but you made me laugh a lot. Essentially, you're good, but you're just not there yet. And that was the comment, and I was like, what? I was like, what did I just read? It's like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't know.
Did he compliment me or insult me? I don't understand.
I'm taken aback, but also very pleased at the same time.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so you're still here, like still subscribed. So I was like, that's cool. I hope you like what I do, but that wasn't constructive criticism. That was just someone rambling.
That was just some ramble shit.
I was like, that's why I was laughing when he mentioned it, because I was like, oh my God, I remember that day. Because part of me wanted to be like how Hollow felt. Like, man, I feel kind of bad. Like, I got my first negative, and psychology shows that no matter how many positives you have, you're always going to focus on that one negative. So immediate human reaction was, crap, someone doesn't like me. But then I was like, wait a second, or does he?
What was he even talking about?
Yeah. Or is he,
this guy high as fuck right now.
Yeah, seriously. This guy, I want whatever he's on. That was funny. Yeah. Really good time.
Well, I think we got to wrap it on up.
Yep. It's been a lovely episode, though.
Getting close. Yeah, this one is super fun, guys. I'm glad people were here.
So,
candid compliment?
Something like that, yeah.
You're probably right, Doll Target.
The man, the myth, the legend. Do you want to pimp your channel?
Absolutely. My name is Super Fizz Cake. I fizz cake video games, such as right now Jazzpunk, The Witcher, Star Wars Republic Commando, and soon I Am Bread. I hope to see you on my YouTube, my Facebook, and my Twitter. Please and thank you. Okay. But no, seriously, I appreciate everybody who's watched it. I appreciate everything you've done for me. I love you guys. I appreciate that you love me too. Okay. That's me.
All right. The super once in a lifetime happened today on the video. Hipster, do you want to pimp your channel?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know what? Maybe that's a character that'll just come on the show every now and then. Who knows?
Hipster experience.
Hipster experience. All the hipster. No, but seriously, I'm Christopher, and I do host the All the XP channel, and I am super, super excited about this this episode of Content Complete. I thought this was super fun. This is exactly what I was looking for when I went to talk to you guys. Just a cool place where we could talk and people could have a good time. Thank you guys so much for coming out and making time. Most of you guys were here the entire time, and that's an insane amount of time on a Friday evening to just hang out with us. I think that's amazing. And please tell all your friends about it. If you want to reach me, as you can see on the screen right now, you can get me at my Twitter, which is probably the best way, which is at allthexp, and my YouTube channel, which is allthexp. If you're having troubles doing it there, I can't get my own YouTube URL yet because I'm not elite enough. So if you just Google it, I should be one of the first things that pop up. And also facebook.com, allthexp. Basically, like and subscribe to all of these socials. Follow me on that. And yeah, talk to me, man. Seriously, just talk to me. Let's be friends. You know, you guys don't have to be like, this was a good video. You could be like, you're a cool dude. Let's just talk. Or if you don't
have
like,
to compliment
you
me,
can give me a compliment.
me.
you know what? Don't talk to me unless you're going to compliment me.
Only subscribe
No,
if you feel like loving me.
Yeah. Duh, come on. I mean, this is serious business. No, but really, guys, thank you again so much. This has been a lot of fun. And Lizzie Rue's actually asking for an encore. Probably won't happen, but it's
Maybe next time
amazing
we
that
make it
somebody's
longer.
asking us for an encore.
Yeah, maybe next time we can make it longer or something. But yeah, I have to get going here very shortly. Otherwise,
I
I'll be
also
completely
have to.
out. Yeah.
Yes, we'll take off.
Wait,
Matt, do your thing,
I
and
gotta
then I'll
pimp my
have one
channel.
last thing. Pimp your channel.
Right,
Pimp your channel.
I gotta come up with a neat name for me.
Go.
The extremely handsome man, Pimp Your Channel.
Oh, yeah?
All right.
Yeah,
Oh,
You're
man.
introducing everybody, except for you need to do it for yourself now too. Shit.
So
Johnny
you
Bravo,
can-
please. Pimp your channel.
Hey, I'm blonde. All right, so you can follow me here at Twitch TV / Neanderthal Gaming TV, where we stream the podcast once a week. Next week, we're not going to have a podcast because I'm going on a cruise, and Zach is also going somewhere.
I'm going to get drunk in a different town. Yes.
Excellent. All right.
Absolutely. Okay.
You can follow us on Twitter. I don't tweet that often, usually just our videos, but if you follow us, I might tweet more. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Neanderthal Gaming TV. It's pretty fun, I guess. Next week is going to be kind of dead, and the week after that is going to be a little bit dead on the channel, so only maybe 10 or 15 videos.
Oh,
Those
Okay,
weeks.
hold on a second. What did you just do, Matt? Did you just early access your freaking Twitter? You're like we don't normally do stuff, but we could if you follow us. Like
Right,
someone's
like
like,
if
early
I
access,
get
if you buy this
500
thing,
likes,
go.
I'll release the next video.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
hashtag early saturation.
So you
No,
can
but
find us all at our respective channels, and I think
please
that's it.
take a look.
Hey, I
man.
resent that Johnny Bravo statement, BT Dubs.
It was good. It was good.
Very good from the
one last
side.
thing. To make up for not having a podcast next week, because people like Lizzie Rue really want us to do more of this, we're very sorry we won't be able to do that. But what we do, what I'll do is not be able to speak.
There you go.
What we will be doing for the following episode is we're going to have a fourth person. It's a random mystery person, but we are going to bring someone on for you guys, so you can not just listen to our silly voices, you can listen to someone else's poor sap silly voice that I choose. So get ready.
Let the mystery guest begin. Next episode. Oh God, I messed that
Actually,
up
we're
so
just gonna
bad.
have them
Shit.
like fight to the death, and then the first one who
Yeah.
dies, we're gonna have them on the podcast.
We're basically
Wait,
gonna have
what? The
I like
dead
to flip
person's
things
gonna
up.
be on the podcast. So how do you feel about video games? Oh, I'm sorry. You're still rotting.
Whoops. Anyway, I suppose that means that Zach, is this content complete?
I think this content is complete.
Check us out on Early Access.
Stay beautiful and stay tuned. Stay beautiful and stay tuned.
All right, see ya. Peace.
Bye, guys.